Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To all of you, first of all, thank you for your service to our country. I have heard now from 25 senior department officials, including every service chief and 8 combatant commanders, that vacating the 3.1 to 3.45 gigahertz and the 7 to 8 gigahertz bands of the spectrum would have significantly negative consequences for our warfighting capabilities. Being forced to share these bands with commercial interests in a non-optimal way would have the same impact. General Kane, does the Joint Force have capabilities operating on the 3.1 to 3.45 band and the 7 to 8 bands of the spectrum, which would be used in a conflict with China?
We do, Senator, yes.
And would those capabilities be negatively impacted if the Department of Defense were forced to share those bands with commercial users in a non-optimal manner?
Sure, Senator, I think the key is non-optimal. I know there's some work going on around dynamic sharing that would minimize to an acceptable level the ability to frequency hop in and out of those particular bands that would not adversely impact the Joint Force. So,
but as of today, there is no way to make it happen.
Not today, as you know, Senator, and I appreciate your leadership on this, but there's a lot of work going on in that space, sir.
I think we agree that the economic security is national security and that we need to move forward in the next gen with regard to our communications capabilities. But as it pertains to spectrum auction authority, how do you view a spectrum auction process that bases decisions solely on economic considerations?
Well, as you said, Senator, economic security is national security. You know, those are policy decisions. My job as the chairman is to provide the military advice to our policymakers and let them make that decision. And this firmly sits in that policy space. And so rather than put myself sideways out of my swim lane, I'll leave it to them to decide.
But in your professional military opinion, the areas between 3.1 to 3.45 and the 7 to 8 band are critical to our national defense.
3.1 to 3.45, no doubt. Lower end of the 7, there's some, I think, some discussion. 7.4 to 8.4 is an area that I'd prefer us to hang on to, Mr.
Thank
Senator.
you. And Secretary Hegseth, I know that you've told me that you would be willing to go to the mat to protect these critical capabilities. I think that is critical. In fact, these bands are essential to building Golden Dome, which will require even more radars and military communications infrastructure than we currently have, particularly around population centers and defense sites, as we see in Israel today. Would you agree with that today, sir?
Yes, Senator, I concur with the chairman's characterization, and I would just say at no time in conversations around spectrum has DOD's equity never been, it's always been fully represented in those conversations to ensure we protect what we need to protect.
Thank you. General Kane, what is your assessment of the operational and strategic benefits of maintaining the dual hat leadership arrangement between U.S. Cyber Command and National Security Agency, the NSA, particularly in terms of intelligence integration, speed of action, and mission success in contested environments?
Sir, I can argue both sides of that one, and you know, mindful that that's a policy discussion. I think that either will go on soon or has been going on, and I'd prefer to leave that to the policymakers. I think the key is both organizations are critically important, and whether it's a single commander or 2 leaders that collaborate with no distance between them, we achieve the same end state.
Would it be fair to say that the dual hat prevents stovepipes in the cyber domain today?
Senator, there's stovepipes in all kinds of domains today, so I can't assure you that it would prevent them. What I do hope is that whatever path we take, we select leaders who are committed to integrating and knocking down those stovepipes, whether it's a single leader or 2 leaders. That's what the nation needs.
We have been successful in making significant exchanges and utilizing assets for both the NSA and for Cyber Command so far. Secretary Hegseth, are you committed to maintaining the dual hat relationship that has significantly benefited our national security to date?
Senator, as of right now, we're maintaining the status quo, but it's something we reserve the right to review.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.